Whether you're an adventure freak, art and history enthusiast, or are just looking for a peaceful, nature-filled getaway, I've got just the country in mind for you, and it's none other than Georgia. And no, we're not talking about the US state, but the transcontinental country. If it's the first time you're hearing about it, that's because it's the most underrated travel destination ever. But believe me, what it offers is everything you would expect from the perfect vacation in Europe. So let's get right into it. Unique location. The country is located at the center of Western Asia and Eastern Europe, and is surrounded by Russia, Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and the Black Sea. This means that if you're planning to travel to any of these countries, a visit to Georgia will become super easy. But apart from that, what makes it so unique is that it's the cheapest European country ever. The only thing you need is smart planning. Since it's one of the few countries that experience all 4 seasons, each one brings a different set of adventures to follow. Some areas might be slightly more pricier than others depending on the time that you choose to travel. But rest assured, the quality you get in return makes it all worth it. Best value for money travel opportunity. Its capital, Tbilisi, and its second most popular city, Batumi, are considered to be more costly than the rest of the country. The accommodation takes up much of the daily budget if you stay in luxury hotels, but mid-range hotels offer relatively lower prices and are great if you're looking for a cheaper option. Also, it offers amazing deals if you choose to stay in a guest house, and I'd recommend you choose this especially if you're only 2 people. They're very clean and homey. The country also has dorm rooms for backpackers. Overall, for the accommodation, the quality offered is value for money regardless of where you choose to stay. Now, for the transportation costs, there's not much to worry about there either. Public transport is super easy to use. They have buses, otherwise known as marshrutka, running across the country. But I'd recommend taking trains where possible, as the buses can get a bit overcrowded. The only catch is, trains only give access to some cities and not all of them, so you probably will have to go for the marshrutka in case the train isn't an option. Taxis are also affordable, but it's a big no-no if you want to travel to another city, as the charges are too high for every kilometer and end up becoming way too steep for longer distances. Top-class food. Now, if you're a foodie, then let me tell you, Georgian cuisine is to die for. It will undoubtedly become a major part of your trip. In fact, one of the reasons it's garnering attention from the world is thanks to its food. It's considered to be finger-lickin' good because of its perfect blend between Eastern and Western cuisines. A Russian poet, Alexander Pushkin, once said that Georgian food is like a poem, and the best part is, it's super economical. Some of the foods that you've got to try include khachapuri ajuruli, which is a cheese-filled bread combined with bread and butter. It's served hot out of the oven, and once you eat it, there is no going back. Another must-try is churchkela, a sweet dish made by dipping a string of nuts into concentrated grape juice. It's left to dry until a gooey layer is formed on the top. Once you bite into it, the mix of salt and sugar makes for a delicious dessert. Another thing that makes it irresistible is its colors. That's not all though. The local cuisine is filled with many more options, and believe me, you shouldn't miss out on any of them. Georgia's attractions. Well, now that we've gone over the budgeting and the food, let's dive into the country's rich culture and what makes it a must-visit. The only catch is knowing when it aligns with your favorite activities, but don't worry, I've got you all covered. June to September is a great time to travel if you're into hiking or trekking, and personally, it's my favorite time to visit Georgia too. You can escape into the mountains as temperatures in the lower cities start to rise. Another plus point of summer travel is that there's more time to roam and explore as the days become very long, with the sun going down at around 9 p.m. Cities like Tusheti, Bakmaro, and Gomistra are all easy to access in the summer months as they are closed during winter. And if you ever meet a person who's traveled to Georgia, they tell you that you absolutely cannot leave without visiting Tusheti. Even the locals consider it to be a crucial part. There's a famous line from a Georgian local who said that if one hasn't Tusheti, they haven't truly seen Georgia. Travel to Tusheti. Tasheti should be the last city you travel to because you wouldn't want to leave it once you're there. Its stunning landscapes will leave you breathless. It's considered to be the most Instagram-friendly place in the country, but getting there is a risk on its own. No flights mean one has to travel by road to get there. The road is said to be one of the most unsafe in the world due to its narrow size. Turns out there's only space for one car at a time. Not to forget, its sharp turns and cliffs are enough to make a person scared for their life. But if you are crazy about thrilling adventures, then that shouldn't stop you. It has 3 protected areas known as Protected Landscape, National Park, and Strict Nature Reserve, and 3 rivers as well running along the mountains. And guess what? All of them are named Alazani. Back in the day, they were named so to complicate things for enemies, and ever since, the name has stuck. It also offers about 13 different trails, some of which take about 6 days to cover, making it downright epic for mountain lovers. Butami. Next on the list is Butami. The city offers the best nature adventure ever. It's located on the coast of the Black Sea and offers all types of water activities. Whether you want to swim, kayak, parasail, or kiteboard, it's all there. It recently became one of UNESCO's World Heritage Sites because of its parks. There are 3 unavoidable places, each with a unique quality. First is the Butami Botanical Garden, which is spread over 108 hectares and has plants that are only able to survive in various climates, 9 different ones to be exact. This unique aspect makes it home to one of the widest types of flora in the world. Then there is Metrala National Park, which has the most unbelievable waterfall named Tablanari Waterfall. It's 28 meters high and is magical and is enveloped by a forest. Oftentimes, it's also surrounded by a haze, which makes it look like a scene right out of a movie. Sounds like something out of a fairy tale, doesn't it? Then we have the Machikela National Park, a historical forest. It's located outside of Butami, about 30 kilometers away, and is known to have been there since the Ice Age. The temperature there is a bit humid, as it's packed with trees and other forms of greenery. It also has a unique wildlife set with bears, wolves, lynx, and martens. The city's architecture is another thing that compels the tourists to it. It has never before seen eye-catching skyscrapers. The skyline can be seen through the Argo cable car as well, which can be taken from the Anuria mountain. I'd recommend doing so when the sun is about to set, as the sky's color reflecting in the Black Sea combined with the glistening lights of the buildings makes for a spectacular scene. Wine and culture. Georgia is also known as the cradle of wine, since researchers have tracked the creation of it back to them. So if you're visiting, wine tasting should be at the top of your list. The city of Kahiti is the best place to go if you're interested in the local wine history. And if you're looking to dive head-on into the country's rich culture, I've got just the right pick for you. Tbilisi has a festival named Tbilisoba Festival that takes place in October and is full of culture as they set up stalls that sell food and handicrafts from every part of Georgia. Apart from that, there's a lot of entertainment with dances, concerts, and opera. The ambience is cheerful and bright as many people travel from other cities to attend this annual celebration. Georgian people are generally very hospitable as well and look to tourists with respect and love. They are proud of their country and accommodating when it comes to an outsider exploring their culture. Autumn comes in full swing, and with it comes the harvest season. The brown, yellow, orange, and red colors bring a different type of vibrance to the cities. And in the city of Rakoni, these can be seen up until November. October brings with it fruits like pomegranates and persimmons, and the restaurants take full advantage of this produce, adding new dishes to their menus. This is another reason to visit the country in fall. You'll get to try exclusive dishes that aren't sold otherwise. Some of the mountain areas are still open during this time, however, you won't be able to get to Tasheti, so if you're willing to miss out on that, then it should be the ideal time for you. Winter sports. Winter brings with it the opening of ski resorts. These can be found in many cities like Gudari Gudurzi and Bakuriani. Gudari is the most popular one of them all, with 22 routes that span 70 kilometers. You can also go heli skiing if you're feeling a little frisky. High up mountains are closed, but highways to Kazbegi and Svanti are open, and boy oh boy, they give the perfect Christmas feels as everything is covered with snow. You can rent a cabin in Racha for an indoor retreat with your family. As for the main hub of the country, Tbilisi doesn't have much snowfall, even though there can be some blizzards by the end of February and March. Things mostly quiet down and the action remains indoors, with bars open for wine. Another thing that makes winter interesting is the thermal baths. Georgia is famous for these as it makes up a big part of their culture. These were initially used to help with sickness like digestive problems or skin issues, but are now a leisure activity filled with minerals that soothe the mind and help relax the body. Many are available all across Georgia, although a bit hard to find as some are naturally made. A popular one is Nokalaveki Hot Sulfur Spring. It's naturally made with minerals, forming a waterfall that looks like a white crust. Overall, there's no denying that one should visit the country at least once in their lifetime, as it will make for a long-lasting experience. Let us know if you'd like to visit the country and what activities you found most interesting in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to stay tuned for more. Until then, adios!